to PFF. We got the All Pro Darius on the other side. So I'm looking for us to play so much better, especially against the Chargers. Chargers defense is terrible. Paper mache. I expect Kirk Cousins to have another big day. Justin Jefferson to have another big day. Who on their team's gonna guard? Who's gonna guard Justin Jefferson? J.C. Jackson.
I mean, all right. King, I'm just trying to talk about how y'all lost. I'm not trying to talk about the next week.
But they're going to clock it. So much time being wasted here. 12 seconds when Cousins gets the snap. Steps up, throws for the end zone, deflected, and it's intercepted. Kenneth Murray, after the double deflection, ends up with the football and extinguishes the Vikings' hopes. And that is...
We thought we had to, it was like a boxing match. We thought we had some. We didn't even show up to the match with gloves at all. Just not even no headgear, nothing. Not even headgear. A mouthpiece, not even ready, nothing. We just was like, go ahead and hit us. Keep doing it. So, it just sucks. But it is what it is. We're not gonna talk about that. So it didn't happen. We didn't wake up that Sunday. That's all it is. We're back at it. When it comes down to what happened this week, it's been a pretty big week for college football and NFL. And we'll get to that. So, how's everybody doing?
Doing good.
For sure.
Yeah, man, I'm chilling, man. Florida State's the best team in college football. So
here we go.
Of course. Yep, we're not gonna act like they didn't struggle at first, and then just try to go ahead and gut it out as usual. But so when it comes down to it, really good games, solid games that came up. Now I'm pretty sure we're doing our highlights soon, so we'll do that after we get done with these college games. So top 5 games that happened. Number 1 in the nation, as of course, my Dogs. We won 42-21, I believe. So that was a pretty good game. Not too bad. Liked it, but then didn't. You already know how I go playoff. I just critique my team to the T. We couldn't not let them score at the end of the fourth quarter. I don't know why, but it tends to happen. It is what it is. So we won. Go ahead, King. Your team is what? Ranked what in the nation?
Number 5. They dropped again.
They dropped again.
Yeah.
Oh.
The weirdest thing ever, but they keep dropping a team.
That's unfortunate.
In the country.
Unfortunate.
Oh man. Well, hey, so how was the game? Break it. Help us out with that.
I mean, I'm sorry that we don't play against teams like UAB every week. We actually play against teams that have recently won. But yeah, so it was the Florida State Clemson game was a defensive battle to start. Both teams just kind of filling each other out. Kind of opened up a little bit in the second half of the game. Clemson took a lead, and it kind of felt like they were in control. There was a couple of plays, like even before, I think the biggest play of the game was when Kalen DeLoach came free on the left hand and hit Klubnik, knocked the ball loose, scooped it and scored. There was a couple of plays before that where he completed a pass across the middle where the defender was like a half a second late in hitting him. So I think that quarterback, Klubnik, his internal clock is a little bit slow. I think that's one reason why they lost to Duke. I also think because he turned the ball over against them as well. And I think turnover was the reason why they lost to us. But yeah, definitely. We kind of overpowered them at the end of the game. Overtime, the best player on the field kind of showed up, made the biggest play of the day, and then the defense showed up on the other side of the overtime.
All right. And pretty much, I'm pretty sure that's all it has to do. Is who's the number 2 and number 3 ranked team in the nation for you guys?
Michigan's number 2.
Michigan. Okay.
Number 3 is Texas.
Right. So I know Michigan definitely ended up winning pretty easily, 31-7. I remember that one off the top of my head for Michigan. What was the score for Texas?
Texas beat Baylor 38-6.
All right, so that was another easy win. As you guys already know, Peyton Manning's nephew plays for Texas, but doesn't get any playing time. It's pretty interesting how everybody's talking about him. So yeah, so he didn't get any
Well,
look. Okay,
he's
what's up?
not going to play over Ewers because I don't know how much you follow college football, but Ewers was probably ranked the highest of any quarterback that's ever come out of high school.
Got you. Nah, I don't really focus on anything besides my
He's not.
Bulldogs. And,
He's
yeah.
not gonna start over him. There's no way.
Gotcha. I mean, yeah, like I said, I mean, only just focusing on the number one recruiting class in
Hey,
2024.
KB, get your weight up when you're looking. You gotta make sure you can scout the other teams as well.
I mean, it's kind of hard to scout the other teams when you're number one.
You have to because
Oh.
your quarterback is definitely subpar. But
It's okay. I mean, hey, so playoff, didn't they say we had a subpar quarterback for the back-to-back national championships? What was his name again? What was his name again?
Bennett.
Stetson Bennett. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. They said he was pretty under par, and he delivered twice. So, I mean, I guess you need the best quarterback to win.
It had absolutely nothing to do with the 20 defensive players that you put in the NFL. Sure. Okay.
Thank you. Hey, you just keep making my team sound even more important by the more you mention it.
I'm pointing you in the right direction of the reason that your team won.
I appreciate it.
Your quarterback. But
I appreciate it. No, you're right. They're just those defensive players help us get number one in the nation in recruiting 2 times in a row, about to be 3 times in a row. So it's okay. I appreciate you. So yeah, moving on. We got all those in, and we do have some highlights. What's up?
Alabama actually has the number 1 recruiting class. But go ahead.
Okay, as of now, King, they haven't even signed the letters of intent yet, so it ain't even official. So once we get there, we'll get there in fall. I'm pretty sure they start to sign the letters of intent in December or November, right?
I'm not going to help you. You need to use your computer.
Okay. No, I think you know. I'm just asking because I think you know. So you already know how I go. But there are some highlights that we do have. I'm pretty sure me, Playoff, and King have provided those. So we'll get that set right after this commercial break. And then after that, we have a subject at hand, which has to do with Colorado. That was probably one of the biggest games on Saturday. Exactly. Yep. His favorite player, all time for college football is on that team. He's the head coach, Coach Prime. King, do you want to let us know the score of that game? You predicted it, so.
I honestly don't care.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
cool.
they lost to Oregon 42-6.
Thank you, Playoff. And watching that game, let's all get our takes, and I'll go first. Just watching that game, to be honest, it was kind of like the big brother bullies the little brother. Yeah, you kind of definitely seen what team was better. I know a lot of news is going around how Dan Lanning, the head coach of Oregon, pretty much did that famous quote saying they're in it for the clicks, we're in it for the wins. This is not a dream, scenario anymore. This is not a dream state. We're playing just to get these wins, and this is a real game. As he should. I mean, they all said that Oregon was going to have to go head-to-head, nail to nail with Colorado, even though people who watch college football, as we do, we knew exactly what it was going to be. It was going to be a lot to a little. But I kind of, I have no problem with what the coach said. We already knew it was going to be a big blowout. I mean, Bo Nix put up mad numbers, pretty much. It was insane. And Shador, I believe, got sacked 6 times. So it was pretty crazy. But Playoff, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I got to give credit to King because, he called this. I only give him so much credit because, a broken clock is right twice a day. So he's going to get some things right sometimes. But it was just, I haven't seen someone get smoked like that in a while. And you could just tell the difference in the athletes on the field.
Right.
And Colorado, you could just tell, not that they weren't prepared. I think they were prepared, which is probably the worst part. They were prepared, it's just they couldn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah.
Like Oregon's offense was just too high powered. Couldn't get anything going on. Offensively, Colorado couldn't get anything going. Shedeur had a really tough day, like you said. He was running for his life back there. So yeah, it was. They got mollywopped, and you know the thing I admire about Deion, he's going to talk, win, lose or draw. And you know this time they lost and they lost big.
Yep. King, thoughts?
Not much. I expected it. I'm going to expect the same thing this week. Their team is a average team. They played against some not good teams to start the year. TCU lost half of their championship roster. And then they played Colorado State to a tie, basically. And then they had another game that they played where I think they kind of won it handily, but it's just all subpar teams they played. When they played against a team that actually had some athletes that could match them, you saw what happened. And I know you said you didn't see a team get beat up like that in a while. If you look at week 1, Florida State did it to LSU. But
Okay.
we can digress away from that. This is what I expected. I'm predicting, and I'll say it now, Colorado will win 2 more games for the rest of the year.
So you don't even think they get to bowl eligibility?
No.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Hey, like I said, I respect it. As you guys can see, King does not like, doesn't really care for Colorado. He cares for Florida State. That is his main team. Like we said, Coach Primetime, who is one of the, former players of, Florida State.
No, he's not.
No,
he's not.
Never mind. He's not he never played at Florida State, so he's not a former player.
Wait. But here's the thing. This isn't from me. It's from his mouth.
Okay. I got you. Look, I'm just trying to understand. That's cool. Cool.
He said he's not.
Got you. So when it comes down to it, the other subject at hand that we have, Colorado, it's surrounding Colorado. They're like one of the hottest teams to talk about, regardless on if they lost or if they win. Coach Prime is the headliner of that team. After that Oregon game, he definitely did say, "You better get me now because this is the worst we're going to be." Now, I want to bring the subject to you guys to get a breakdown from that. We know college football. We know what it takes to be the best. When you're not up there, you kind of like talking a lot, but you're not really getting there. So my question to you guys is, for Coach Prime, when he says that statement, "You better get us now because this is going to be our worst," how we look. Do you guys think, from what me and King looked at, we looked at the rankings for recruiting, he's 75. He's in 75th place in recruiting right now. So yeah. I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I'm trying to understand when he says this is going to be our worst. So my question is, what's going to be his best when it comes to recruiting? Because the way Coach Prime talks, he makes it seem like he's going to be in the top 3 in recruiting classes. And last time I remember, he only flipped one person that was a 5-star, and that was Travis Hunter. Do you guys see him flipping any more college athletes to go to Colorado? Because I know as myself, I'm not a college football player, but I know I don't like playing in the snow. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll ever reach a point where Colorado brings in a top 5 recruiting class. But I mean, even if he can get to around 25 or somewhere within, within the top 25, that's a win for him. And I mean, I do think Deion's he's a master marketer. So like, I think he's going to be able to go into, these people's homes and talk a really good game. And obviously, I mean, people know what he's achieved on the field and what he's done. And so I think he is going to be able to recruit like big athletes to come out there, but it'll never, I mean, I mean, as long as you got Nick Saban at Alabama, Kirby Smart at Georgia, I mean, you got the schools down in Florida.
Mike Norvell, Florida State.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
the schools down in Florida, where a lot of football athletes come from. So it's going to be difficult to pull athletes from the South. I think just because of schools that are so heavily entrenched there and who are doing well. But I do think he can get it to where, somewhere around the 20s, maybe even the high teens.
Okay. Because the reason why
it'll take time though. It will take time.
Got you. Right.
It's not going to be an overnight thing. I mean, if what King's saying comes to be true, that they only win 2 more games over the course of the year, it's going to be tough. But yeah, I think give him 3, 4, 5 years, and he'll be able to make something shake over there as far as the recruiting.
Got you. Exactly. No, because I just want to understand when it comes down to it. Like I said, the way Coach Prime talks and the way that a lot of people are going to get on him or judge him or critique how he recruits and how he gets players or students, excuse me, because those young men, to get to play for him, he has to be heavy on the recruiting side. You keep a lot of people are transfers that like to come over and play. But then again, he had 51 transfers, over 51 transfers. He kicked a lot of kids off that team that were on that team previously and didn't kick them off, my bad. He seen what they were about, and if they weren't about all 100% football, he's, kindly asked them to exit the team or get off the team because the other players who wanted to play. Now, the question is he that good? Because like I said, this is only year 1 of his 5-year contract, I believe. He has a 5-year contract or 4 with Colorado. So King, you're next, because I know for sure. I know you don't really have that much to say when it comes to Coach Prime, but when it comes to recruiting for a team that's that small but has that much, should I say, audience, a big crowd. They got the whole entire state of Colorado coming in, filling up those seats. They said the whole entire season sold out. When it comes down to his recruiting, do you think that Coach, for Coach Dion or Coach Prime can get up there when it comes to recruiting?
Nope.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
So even if he gets up into the 20s, that's not going to be good enough to compete for a championship. He's going to always be somewhere between a 6 to an 8 win season, because especially sitting in the Pac-12, which I think is going to be dissolved next year. But wherever he ends up, whichever conference he ends up with, he's never going. I'm not going to say never, but I think he's going to end up leaving Colorado.
Oh yeah.
Once his sons leave and Travis Hunter graduates and moves on, he's going to move on with them, because that's kind of what Dion does. Like, he's gonna. I'm not. I think he wants to be a coach. I just think Colorado's a stepping stone.
I agree with that. I think that.
Right.
I think maybe Max should give it 3, 4 years of him being there, and then he's going to come back to the East Coast, probably somewhere in the South. He'll wind up.
Okay.
I think he jumps into a major program as like a coordinator, and then he gets a leap. One job I'm looking at. I don't know if it will ever work, but we see him in those Aflac commercials.
Oh, with Saban.
He's gonna be Alabama.
Nick Saban's getting kind of old, so
kinda. he's there.
I don't know.
He's right there, even though they keep signing him to extension after extension after extension. It's kind of, it's funny because in his heyday when Alabama was winning championships without left and right, that was him in his prime. But now he's what? I think Coach Saban's closer to 7 years old, getting closer.
When they were winning championships, it was like 4 years ago. I don't get what you're saying.
I mean, 4 years ago is 4 years ago, King. I'm giving the guy his due respect. What are we doing?
But 15 years ago.
My bad. I don't understand where King's coming from with this, but then I mean, we can get to that. We can get to that conversation if you want to.
I do have one thing, and it'd be interesting to see if that actually ends up happening because
Okay.
I don't know if Alabama's ever had a black head football coach.
They have not ever.
Yeah, so
No, it's been Bear Bryant, and then they had a couple coaches, and then Nick Saban.
Yep,
yeah,
that was it.
so yeah, Coach Prime might have the credentials and the personality to where he could actually make that work.
So where I'm predicting he goes, it's going to be somewhere in the ACC, and it's not going to be Florida State. I think he might actually listen. Let me land the plane first. You can't interrupt the. You're giving me turbulence. Let me land the plane. So when it comes down to it, I think Coach Prime will go to Miami. I think he might go there. The reason why, and I might be wrong, I could be wrong. The reason why I think he goes to Miami, it's a get back and a slap in the face to his alma mater, which is going to be.
We're not his alma mater.
Oh my God, he's an alumni of whatever. His former school, Florida State. I think he's going to get back at Florida State.
He played football there. It's not his alma mater. His alma mater is Talladega.
He did. Got you. He didn't graduate there. I'm sorry. His former school that he made relevant. That's where
he did not make us.
I know, King. It's tough. I know it's tough. But look, so when it comes down to, I think he's gonna go to Miami. Other than that, but yeah, I think Coach Prime. For my thing that I critique, I think Coach Prime the most on, even though it's his first year. He talks a big game. Now I'm expecting him to be the best of the best. That's the way he's putting it out there. They're not going to be sorry, nor will blowouts happen like that again. This is the first season. So he's pretty much saying get him now because it's going to be the worst time where he's the worst. So now I'm expecting him to be up there with recruiting. Not even top 20. I'm expecting top 10. That's how he's talking. That's how I'm going to that's what I'm going to expect. And a lot of even Stephen A. Smith, Michael Irvin, Ryan Clark, Richard Sherman. I forgot the other guy who's on Undisputed with Skip Bayless. But yeah, I expect all of them to be. I expect his recruiting class to be top notch moving forward. But that's just the type of pressure that Coach Prime wants. I hope he does the best he can do. But yeah, do you guys got anything else for NCAA football? Because I think we pretty wrapped up on that. Unless there was another game that we didn't talk about.
I'm tired of Colorado.
Okay, cool. They're the hottest team out there that everybody's talking about. But cool.
I didn't know. Wait. Isn't this supposed to be like cover 3 where we talk about like football, not tell jokes? You telling jokes now?
Oh man, they are the most talked about college football team out there. King, that's a fact.
Right.
No. So who's the most talked about team?
Florida State.
Please don't get him started on Florida State.
Bro, yeah. I mean, everybody, that will be another episode we can do to give him his 1 hour segment of just Florida State, just to break down how he has the best of the best, even though they're ranked. What are they ranked now in the nation?
5.
5. Okay, cool. Yeah, they're the best. But yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up when it comes to college football. We can go ahead and jump over to NFL. I don't know the top scores of every single game, but we can just go ahead and do a quick breeze through it, straight through it. King, you got the scores or playoff? If you want to get the scores, doesn't matter.
Sure, I can pull them up.
Sweet. Off the top, I can tell you, the Minnesota Vikings lost to the Chargers.
What was the score?
28-24. Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins had a touchdown showdown. Herbert had like 400 yards, 3 TDs, and Kirk Cousins had high 300s, 3 TDs as well.
Okay.
Browns beat the Titans 27-3. Lions beat the Falcons 20-6, ended their Cinderella start. The Packers came back on the Saints, the Derek Carrless Saints for the second half. Dolphins, I don't know, they destroyed the Broncos 70-20. That's like a Madden score.
Two,
Patriots beat the Jets. Zach Wilson looked lost. The Bills destroyed the Commanders 37-3. Texans and CJ Stroud got their first one of the year over the Jaguars, who also are looking like Jaguars from 3 years ago. Colts miraculously beat the Ravens with some controversial calls in that game.
yeah,
The
it should have been a
Seahawks
flag.
beat the Panthers. I actually watched the end of that game. That was really entertaining. The Chiefs destroyed the Bears. I don't know. Justin Fields is I don't know. I defended them a couple weeks ago, but at this point, he needs a fresh start. The Cardinals beat the Cowboys. Dak Prescott with a terrible late interception in the red zone. Steelers beat the Raiders, the turnover-prone Raiders. Jimmy G threw some careless turnovers, and now we find out that he had a concussion, so kind of can go easy on him. Yeah. And then we had two games tonight, which was Eagles Bucks. Eagles controlled the Buccaneers, and then the Bengals finally got off the schneid and beat the Rams. 19.
Big
Gotcha.
Bengals. Big Bengals.
Gotcha. Yeah, Bengals won. Well, that's pretty good. So what we're actually going to do before we get to all three of our teams, we're going to do a injury report that we'll have playoff go ahead and get together, and we'll take a break right after. Cool. All right. So now we can start talking about our three teams. When it comes down to it, I'm gonna let playoff go. You feel me? Because his team is the only team that won out of three of us. So how did that go? How did that game go? How you feeling? You 1-2 now? 1-2?
I mean, it feels good to be in the, get that dub, the first dub of the season.
Good.
Like I said before, in previous conversations, not really worried. This team has been 0-2 before. They were 0-2 last season, went to the AFC Championship. So the team definitely has the resolve to pull themselves out of a losing streak. The Bengals fan base, I was in Spaces this week, and when you're 0-2 to begin the season and you have, high expectations, Super Bowl or bust expectations, basically, the fan base was a little shaky, a lot of complaints about, the coaches play calling, a lot of conversations around whether Burrow should, be playing it. People we really didn't know until right before the game whether he was actually going to be playing or not.
Right, because of the calf injury, right?
Yeah, the calf strain in his right leg. Yeah. And so he went out there and gutted it out. You could tell, he's compromised. The offense is nowhere near as explosive as it normally is. The thing that changed tonight is they got Jamar Chase the ball. He had 12 catches, 141 yards, no touchdowns, unfortunately, still no touchdowns on the season. But yeah, defense came up big. We got 2 interceptions by the linebacker Logan Wilson, 6 sacks altogether as a team. And King and I were talking before. Burrow did enough to win. Threw for 259 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. But he led his team to victory, so we'll take it.
Yeah, and like we always say, it's who's the better team that day. Your team was. I watched a little couple of I think the last minutes of the third, going to the fourth, and it just seemed like the pocket was collapsing on Stafford, and he just couldn't. He started covering up the ball before he get the ball out and just took sacks. To be honest, for the last 3. So that was pretty good. Yeah.
And the thing about it, the last couple of seasons, the Bengals defense has been one of the better ones in the NFL as a whole, especially just being opportunistic, taking advantage of turnover opportunities, and being able to get to the quarterback. They weren't really living up to expectations in the first two games, but they definitely did tonight. And the Rams' offense is not one of the better ones, in my opinion. And I feel like they've consistently had an issue in trying to protect Stafford, and the Bengals really took advantage of that. So
Right. It kind of seems like after they won the Super Bowl, they lost one of their best
yeah.
offensive lineman because he was already pretty much ready for retirement. He just wanted the ring and he was out.
Yeah.
So once he lost them, they drafted a couple of new offensive linemen, and a lot of those guys are rookies. But your guys' defensive line, Hubbard, Hendrickson, took
Yep.
care of business. Think Pratt or Logan. No, Logan.
Logan
What
Wilson,
was the last?
the one that got
Wilson.
the 2 interceptions.
He got the 2 interceptions. They took care of business, man. And congrats to your team, 1-2. Welcome to that 1-2. But let's go over and go to King. Vikings and who else played Vikings?
Vikings played the Chargers.
Well,
Vikings play the Chargers.
welcome
Vikings
to
play.
welcome to what?
Oh, I mean, a win. Our team's the only team that has wins besides your 0-3 Vikings.
You're talking about a win in 3 games. What is this, baseball? You're batting 300.
Okay, please break down to me because, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to go ahead and go over to what King's talking about. He's 0-3, so I want him to explain to us why he's 0-3, and you guys tell me and hit us back for Cover 3 in our comments on KBB at KBB Brown 22, and we have playoff. You see his handle down there. Also, you see at chasing number 18. So you let us know, DM us to let us know if King is making excuses. So go ahead, King. Break it
It's
down for
not
us.
excuses, and what we should do is ask people to rate which team they think has looked the best this year, and that they would trust in a playoff game out of the
Bro,
Raiders.
King, you're talking about playoffs and what they would trust. Let's just talk about the now and what happened in this game, not all the other games. Tell me what happened in this game and why you guys lost, or what happened, because I thought you guys were going to win this game like you predicted. So what happened?
So
I just want to know. Break it down for me.
I'm gonna predict we're gonna win every game. Don't
Got it.
Don't hold me to a prediction. It's my team. You think I'm ever gonna go into a game and say, "Hey, man, we about to lose this game to the Chiefs"? What? You crazy? Are you crazy?
Is your team better? Is your team better than the Chiefs? Are you better than Chiefs?
Are you crazy?
No, but are you better than the Chiefs?
We could be better than the Chiefs on the day we play them. It's not
Got
about
you.
are you better than the Chiefs. Is the Detroit Lions better than the Chiefs?
They were that game.
Yeah, they were when they played.
Exactly. That's exactly what I just said. So,
and so far, the Vikings haven't been better than any opponent they played so far this season.
Well, I mean, we've been good enough to win all 3 of the games that we played in, and we did not. We came up short in all 3 games. And
you what? Hold on. You what?
Some of it is our fault, and then other times other teams played better. It's that simple. I'm not going to say that every single game or all 3 of the games that we played, we should have won. 100% we should have won the Tampa Bay game. We turned the ball over 4 times and only lost that by 3 points. We still had a chance to win at the end if we get 1 stop. Chris Godwin made an incredible catch on the sideline, which got them that first down, and they were able to run out the clock. The second game we played against the defending NFC champions. We were in that game. We had also, again, costly turnover by Justin Jefferson as we're driving to take a 13-7 lead. And they came out second half, put a couple touchdowns distance in front of them. We had a valiant effort at the end, but came up short. This past Sunday or yesterday, we played the Chargers. Again, kind of a shootout a bit. Like I said, both quarterbacks threw for 350 plus yards. I think Justin Herbert got over 400. Their coach, weird call, and I felt like it was going to happen. That 4th down at their own 24, I knew he was going to go for it. It was a weird call. weird decision to run the ball when your team, I think in total had 20 yards all game, and you decide that, hey, this is the most important down of the game, and I'm going to take the ball out of my best player's hand and give it to my running back. And he got stuffed. We had a chance to win the game on the first play. The first play after Kirk Cousins throws the ball a couple inches wide to the right, KJ Osborne beat the man off the line and had a touchdown. So it's plays like that where I can't look at it and say, "Oh, the Minnesota Vikings are an 0-3 team. That's sorry." No, it's one or two plays every single game that you make or you don't make, and it costs you the game or you win the game. So far this season, we have not made those plays. I 100% expect them to start making those plays, and we're going to start to rack up these wins. We're going to get the two new players that we added to our roster, Dalton Risner, the offensive guard, and Cam Akers, the running back. We're going to get both of those guys acclimated, and we're going to go forward with them. I expect big from the Vikings. I don't care if they're 0-3 and the percentages of them making the playoff goes to this because.
I mean, hey, I don't want to interrupt you. You done with your breakdown with the Vikings?
Yeah, man. I think I broke it down enough.
For sure. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have it, King and his Vikings, the reason why they're 0-3, they had it, couldn't finish. Next game they will have it. But if they go 0-4, we'll have this discussion again. It'll be fun.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Of course.
So is your opinion going to change if y'all lose to the Panthers this week and go to 0-4?
It depends. Again, I have to watch the game and see the way the game unfolds. If they come out and they're continuing to making the same mistakes, continue to turn the ball over carelessly, at that point I might say, wait, this is now becoming more of a habit than it is a hiccup. So it all depends on the way the game unfolds.
Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to know.
Okay.
I'm a man that deals with context. I have to deal with the context.
Hence the name.
Exactly.
It's funny because when we talked, we kind of briefly chatted. I said I felt like the game was going to come down to whoever had the ball last.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, it did. Y'all were the ones that had the ball last, but y'all just couldn't do anything with it. I guess the part that confused me, because I feel like the Chargers did their absolute best to try to give y'all this game. And like the play call, not the last one with the turnover where Hawkinson didn't catch the ball and then they got intercepted.
Dropped the ball, but people will say that that's Kirk Cousins' fault.
No, that's not on Kirk Cousins. I mean, he delivered a catchable ball and he didn't catch it, and he tipped the ball up and it got intercepted. But the previous possession where y'all had 4 tries, it was a goal to go situation. And I think on 4th down, your quarterback threw it to Jefferson and he wasn't even in the end zone.
Okay.
Like, do you remember the play I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly the play you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing I guess that's always confused me about Kirk, because in that situation, there was somebody coming at him, but he couldn't really feel the pressure. Maybe the clock was just running in his head and he felt like he needed to get the ball out. But my thing is at least get the ball into someone's hands who obviously Justin Jefferson is your best offensive weapon. I get it. That's a security blanket. I get it. But you don't at least get the ball to someone who is actually in the end zone?
No, so I think you get the ball to Justin Jefferson and let him get in the end zone. He was at the 2-yard line. It's not like
he was covered up. Like he was blanketed.
Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Debatable, but
it's not debatable at all. He's proven.
No. Right. Stats from last year and probably this year are saying he's the best, but it's fine. It's perfectly fine. My bad, King. You're answering the question.
Tell me another receiver that's better than him.
I'm not disagreeing with you. He's definitely better than my wide receiver. I'm just waiting to get to my breakdown for my team. So I'm letting you finish yours.
We can have a conversation comparing
playoff.
Chase.
What receiver is better than him?
I said you can have a conversation between Chase and Jefferson.
So
But
There
maybe
you go.
I'm gonna
we can
do
do
this.
we
This
can
is
do it
what I'm
another
gonna
time.
do for you because I watched.
Right.
I
Oh,
watched.
so you know what?
Wait,
What
KB.
we
I watched
what
and I listened to the breakdown for the Bengals game. Do you
mm-hmm.
know that the amount of catches and the amount of yards Jamar Chase got in this single game is more than he's had the
In
entire
the first two
season?
games combined. Yeah.
But you're telling me that he's a better receiver when Justin Jefferson went over 150 yards in both of his first two games.
The Cincinnati's quarterback is compromised with injury. We already talked about
So
that.
listen, so you want to go back to last year?
Let's not. No.
I think KB wants to. We can have this
I
conversation.
just
Or do you want to go back to his rookie year? Which
oh
one?
God.
Like I said,
I,
it's a
Justin
conversation.
Jefferson is
It's a
the
conversation.
best wide receiver in the NFL.
okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get to that conversation in about 15 minutes. Just go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do my breakdown for my team. We're not that important, I promise you. We're just in Vegas. We're just in Vegas, and we just had a home game, our first. So, King, appreciate you for doing your breakdown for your Vikings and the reason why they are 0-3. Thank you. Bengals.
Wait. You're getting too much.
Jesus.
You have too much joy and keep on saying the Vikings are 0-3.
I move.
Do not
Listen.
say that again.
Oh God, listen to me. Look, I'm glad you gave us a breakdown. Hopefully, you guys get a win. You guys, your 0-3 Vikings.
Please
They,
stop talking so derogatory about mine.
Okay, your football team tried. They did what they're supposed to do on Sunday.
You just talk about your team.
Got it. Right back at it. So appreciate you for sharing what you happened to your Vikings that Sunday. Congratulations, playoff, on what happened to your team getting the first win, 1-2. Welcome to the welcome to the winning team. Boom. So let's go ahead and get to my Las Vegas Raiders. As you can see, that misery / depression just really kind of hit. So when it comes to my team, we played the Steelers prime time on Sunday night, even though I think it should have been flexed. We didn't need to play that game. Or it didn't need to be shown on TV like that. We lost 23 to, I believe. Shoot. You see me? I forgot the score. Anybody remember the score?
Oh, yeah. Let me get it. Hold on.
23-18.
There we go. 23-18. Steelers pretty much embarrassed the Raiders. It was an embarrassing sight. We had a chance to go ahead and bring, the score closer to actually trying to win it, but we have an incompetent head coach who decided to kick a field goal instead of going for a TD. So, as you know, we have Josh McDaniels. He is, the captain / leader of the Patriots West. So, it's kind of fun watching a coach that knows nothing on what he's doing just try to lead a team into wins. Where we have disgruntled players. First off, D. Adams. He was not happy after that win. He said he's not trying to waste his time. It just sucks. It sucks. It's depressing. And I just hope we fire him and just clean house. Get Adams out of here. Get Max Crosby out of here. We start fresh. I'd rather do that than go ahead and go through more losing seasons. And if we are, at least we know we're rebuilding. We're building to something. But as of now, we don't have a team that's worth free agent signing with or playing for. I don't like Vegas as it is. I miss Oakland. But it is what it is. That game was pitiful. I'm very disappointed in the Raiders. As I've said multiple times before in spaces, as yourself, playoff, you said you've been in them. I'm never paying for a Raiders ticket ever to watch that game. Until we become something that is worth watching, I'll pay tickets to go see them play, but I'm never going to go to a game. Never. Not how the ticket prices are as they are now. I think the best thing for the Raiders, they can rely on Beyonce concerts, Taylor Swift concerts, just for the stadium to be rented, because obviously they're overpricing their own fans out of the stadium, which is a shame. But I mean, it is what it is. It's other teams' home games, and we're visitors to our own home stadium. So other than that, we lost. It's nothing else to be said. I'm not going to break down the context on why we lost. We freaking lost. Who cares? We're all officially 1-2. Was hoping we'd be 2-1, but we're not good enough to do so. And on top of that, as King highlighted, We have a idiot head coach that can't notice when our actual QB has a concussion. So that's awesome. But I mean, it is what it is. Anybody has thoughts on it, please DM me. Let me know what's going on, what you guys think of how the Raiders played. If they suck, if we need to fire head coach, I'll take all the advice because I'm like milliseconds from just writing our organization a letter of just like writhing pain, just because it's been happening to me since I've been 10. Like we have not been good, so it is
So,
what it is.
so you're done with McDaniels completely? Like you're
I've been done with him since last year. I didn't like him. I didn't
okay.
want him as a head coach. I didn't want Ziegler as a GM because they're coming from one organization that's used to winning because of one player, Tom Brady, and a legendary head coach in Bill Belichick. I'm not gonna speak ill in that man's name because he is a pretty good architect when it comes to finding QBs. And he was with Brady from the start. So I can't say anything or ill will about that man. He's probably one of the greatest head coaches of all time. And yeah, I mean, it just sucks to watch. I don't know about you playoff because you have Joe Burrow. You guys are good at finding talent. For my team, for the Raiders, we've never been good at finding talent. We've never done what we're supposed to do. So it's kind of frustrating because Sunday, game in, game out, and this is just a continuation since last year. We have a good pieces to the roster, but you refuse to draft the right way to build upon that. So with that, I know a lot of people see me just shitting on my own team, but it's not that I'm not thinking we don't have the potential. We have the potential. We just will always lose games in the end because head coaching. It comes down to coaching. You got to put your young players in the position.
I watched the end of that game and I was kind of confused because y'all were down by 10, and didn't they chose to kick the field goal instead of going for it, right? And then they never got the ball back.
Never did.
So
no,
I know a lot of people.
They were down by 8.
We were down by 8, but the thing was with that going for the field goal, let's talk about for the TD. What they could have done was let Devontae Adams. He already had 179 passing yards or receiving yards, and 2 TDs. Let him go ahead and just throw it up to him, let him catch it. If it doesn't, then at least we try for the TD. I'd rather go for the TD than the field goal. A lot of people say it's about getting the points. No, it's about trying to win the game by any means necessary. So I don't understand why we're going to kick field goals. Like they said, I think at the end of the game, Josh McDaniels had did post game and said if it could have happened again, he would have did another field goal again. I don't know what head coach says stupid stuff like that. But then again, it's the mediocrity of the Raiders. We've been doing this since we've been, I don't know, since from dawn to time. Like the best head coach we've ever had has been John Madden, and
So
RIP to the GOAT. But
that field goal makes even less sense now.
You got to be able to stop. Your defense can't get a stop.
So, King, what I'm telling you is our defense sucks. So why would we rely on something that's not going to happen? We don't the one person. Hold on, King. The one person we have on defense is Max Crosby. That's it. So we're relying on one person to get a stop.
So why don't you just send a memo to every team that's on your schedule and say, hey, you got a W this week. We're just going to save everybody 3 hours. We're not going to show up.
That's fine. Look, the thing about me is I'm realistic with my team. If we're going to lose, there's games we're going to lose that I can just say that we're not winning. And if we do, I will be pleasantly surprised because I refuse to have confidence in the team where a front office doesn't have confidence in themselves. I don't know how you draft Tyree Wilson over Jalen Carter. That makes zero sense to me. And you're trying to tell me because of behavior, personality issues? I know talent. That's what I know. And Tyree Wilson even there. So it's like it's funny that you say that we don't depend on our defense. Because you ask any Raiders fan, no, we don't want to depend on our defense to win us the games. Even if we had a subpar game stopping the Steelers at that. But then again, we have one rookie at cornerback that can't even stick with the wide receiver half the time. So it's like it's kind of like when you say you don't trust your defense. No, I don't trust our defense. The only person I trust on our team is Devontae Adams. I don't even
Well,
trust Josh Jacobs. I don't trust
your
Josh Jacobs at all either.
your coach trusts his defense, and they just let him down.
Oh, yeah, they're
Yeah,
that's gonna look. That's gonna continue to happen every game, every game.
That field goal makes even less sense now.
It does.
Like, I thought it was more than one possession that y'all were down. And
Right.
so for him to kick that field goal instead of trying to go for it and potentially
Mhm.
like tie the game by getting a 2-point conversion, that's
Mhm.
insane. But
It makes zero sense. Zero.
yeah, we talked about this in the group chat, but
Yeah.
I feel like when Derek Carr decided he wasn't going to come back, I think y'all should have just had a fire sale, tear it all down, start from scratch. Bringing in Garoppolo,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't fix anything. He's not a quarterback that can elevate an offense.
Exactly.
So,
And the thing with the playoff, it's just I was all the proponent of doing a fire set and letting these talented players actually go flourish on other teams and do what they have to do with other teams that's going to like help them get better and show how good they are. But it's not helping us because one, we have a front office that refuses to commit to defense because our offense is already loaded. You know the pieces we have, but it just doesn't help us if we don't help them. During the draft, I don't know why you went after. I know we lost Darren Waller, but you can find other comparable tight ends later in the rounds. You don't have to trade picks to go get Michael Mayer. As you can see, he looks lost. Like he just doesn't know how to block. So when it comes down to Garoppolo, he's a Band-Aid, but then again, he has a concussion. So now I'm like, put the rookie in. I'll let the rookie play for the rest of the season. If we don't win another game, that's perfectly fine. But I'm also a Raiders fan that, like I said, I'd rather start fresh. Please give me a new front office, a new front office, a whole new front office, new GM, new head coach. I'm good with that. I don't care about that. Build something so we can become good. Draft so we can become great. Period. I mean, King, I understand you have your feelings, so please let me know your take.
No, it's not gonna I don't know. I don't know what type of corporation runs like that. How many years has Josh McDaniels been your coach?
3 years.
And before that, how many years was that coach your coach?
What coach?
Who was the coach before Josh McDaniels?
You talking about Gruden?
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's been so much turnover.
And then before Gruden, who was the coach?
Jack Del Rio.
For how long?
4 years.
And then before him, who was the coach?
Before Jack Del Rio, I believe it was Dennis Allen. 4 years.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't continue to do that. You have to give one coach an opportunity to build a culture and build something to play around. Like you can't just be like, oh, you had 2 bad years, you're fired. Let me somebody. Oh, you had 3 bad years, oh, you're fired. Give me somebody. That's not.
King, are we talking about the same head coach? Because are you thinking about what you're saying when you say that stuff like that? Because do you know who Josh McDaniels is? Has he ever had success outside of post Tom Brady? Because the way you're talking, believe in what they can do. Believe in what? They haven't done. Look, the first thing they proved to me is they don't want to win. They're not about winning. You're going to go, like I said, there's nothing you can explain to me why you pass up on a freaking juggernaut of a pick in Jalen Carter. You just can't do that. That is subpar and that's malpractice. That's malpractice. Give me some advice. Because if you're trying to tell me going for Tyree Wilson over Jalen Carter, that is madness. I don't care about character issues. What can you do on the football field?
It's not
period.
On the football field.
Okay, so what are we doing? So we have good character, but is that helping us win?
No, but it helps again instill a culture. If you have a guy that does not have a good character and has character issues, what happens when he has 2 bad games in a row? He's going to infect your whole locker room because he had 2 bad games in a row. Now he goes after the defensive coordinator and say, "You're not using me correctly." I need to be on the
Right.
edge. I don't need to be in the middle. And now there's a fight between them two. Like that's the reason why you tend to stay away from guys with character issues. That's why they do their investigation about these players, and they go to their family, they go to their ex-players, they go to their they go to everyone to talk. Hey, how does he respond in a situation like this? What have you ever seen him lose his temper? How does he?
Right.
There's a reason why they do that stuff. They are going to give these guys generational money. You cannot just give generational money to somebody who could lose their shit at any second. You can't do it.
Got you. So I want you to answer me. Riddle me this. So the reason why we trade Khalil Mack was character issues?
That has to do with your old coach.
Oh, no. You said creating a culture. He's trying to create a culture. So when we traded Khalil Mack, did that make sense to you when we did it? Is it yes or no?
No, it did not.
Okay, cool. Playoff. Did it make sense to you when we traded Khalil Mack?
No, not really.
That's a whole other coach.
No. So listen. So when in drafts, if you were to pick a certain player who was supposed to be taken, would you have taken Tyree Wilson over Jalen Carter? Would you have?
What position did you draft Tyree? What number?
We drafted him at number 7.
At number 7.
Was he the best? Yes. Was he the best defensive player to be taken at number 7? Was he? And you watch football, so you know the draft. So please tell me.
You do know in probably 2, maybe 3 years, Jalen Carter is going to be up for a healthy amount of money.
Yes. And?
So do you think he makes it to that point without some type of hiccup? If he's on the Raiders?
I think he – does he make it to the we don't know that. We don't know. No, I don't know.
Correct.
I don't.
So – and honestly, you don't know that about any player. But then when the player comes in and already has character issues, it makes it worse. Now, shit, I have to worry about you just not only the attrition of a normal 19, 20-year-old that's growing, that's gonna have his bumps in the road, but now you already have a pattern of character issues and bad behavior. So now I'm gonna double down on trying to grab someone like that at that high of a draft position. You know, draft positions nowadays are slotted. So if you get picked 7, you have your 3rd or 4th year is when your rookie deal ends, and you are up for a bigger contract.
Got it.
So
Jalen
Carter got drafted to the Eagles, which the
number
Eagles
7
off of a NFC championship. They have established leadership with Jalen Hurts, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. These are veteran players. So when Jalen Carter comes into there, guess what they're going to do to him? And the guys that I mentioned play the exact same position as him. Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox are defensive linemen. Come here, young fella. They're going to take him under their wing, and they're going to teach him how to be a professional. Who do you have on your team that was going to be able to do that to Jalen Carter?
I understand what you're saying. We don't. We have Max Crosby, who's probably one of the most proven leaders on our team. Super young, but I think he could definitely teach Jalen Carter a thing or two when it comes to discipline, when it comes to attitude. I'm just saying, when it comes to just personality issues, we don't care. It's more the point of having the chance to have that type of talent. We haven't had a talent like Jalen Carter since Khalil Mack. And everybody keeps talking.
Talent is everywhere, KB.
Okay. I almost called you Zen. King, when it comes down to the talent that the Raiders have, it's funny that you mentioned that, because let's say if we're the number 1 or number 2 in the draft, who would you guys draft if you guys were the Raiders? Go first for me, please.
Wait,
don't
you have Chandler Jones on your team?
I don't know what you're talking about. That's an imaginary person. So playoff. When it comes down to
you have Chandler Jones.
No, King. Now you're going into something that has nothing to do with football. So look, playoff. When it comes to drafting someone, and you're number 1 or number 2 in the draft, just picking number 1 or 2. If you're the Raiders, who are you picking?
Are you talking about this upcoming draft?
Yep, this upcoming draft. Knowing who we need. Who are you drafting?
What do y'all need?
I mean, y'all need a lot. That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah, but our number one issue, who do we need? Number one.
I'd probably say DB or cornerback, somebody who can cover.
So I was gonna say for me, it's a quarterback because Jimmy Garoppolo just ain't it. He's just not.
But are y'all going to draft
Yeah.
a quarterback number one when y'all just paid Garoppolo?
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. Will we? I thought we would because I don't trust our front office to draft a cornerback or any kind of defensive lineman. The question is, if Caleb Williams is saying, I want to go to the Raiders, I'm available, he's there, said he wants to go to the Raiders, I have to worry about my front office not drafting him and drafting like a Bo Nix, saying we believe in his potential more than we do in Caleb Williams. And y'all know damn well Caleb Williams is probably one of the best quarterbacks in that draft. So that's the thing I have to constantly worry about with this front office. They don't draft the right way. They draft on what potential looks like.
Yeah.
So with Tyree Wilson, he has the potential to be better than Jalen Carter. Really? I don't believe so. And if that ever happens, it's not happening until 3 or 4 seasons away. Because we drafted him when he was injured. That makes zero sense to me. Zero.
I feel like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I feel like
no, you're good.
The Raiders have been making silly draft decisions for as long as I can remember. I remember that one draft when y'all took Cleveland Farrell from Clemson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was watching the draft, and the commentators were like, like this is a bit of a reach.
A bit. That's a long one.
I'm trying to remember where he went. I think maybe he went number 4. I can't remember.
Number four.
And
that's when y'all sense.
That's when y'all had Mike Mayock as y'all GM, and he was looking for high character guys. And
sound like King. High character, good building culture. Yeah,
both
works.
Both of the picks y'all took in the first round, because I think y'all took Jonathan Abrams that round too. That
was a reach. That was a reach too. Mm-hmm.
And both of them turned out to be bust. But
huge.
The real issue, like, the Raiders have been unstable. Like, the last time I can remember the Raiders actually being like good and legitimate is when Rich Gannon was at quarterback. Like, it's just been so unstable since then. I think it really boils down to ownership and Mark Davis, and he's trying to find lightning in a bottle, like trying to find these Band-Aids, like, to kind of make a turnaround happen quickly. And it's like that's not how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to build a solid foundation and then build off of that. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he has the patience to try to do that. Clearly, with all the the coaching changes and all that stuff, is just, I don't know.
Right. And so King, because I know you're chopped off the bit to go ahead and breathe some. There's a chance with the Raiders. So go ahead. Because my thing is, I don't know how many years you've been a Raiders fan, but I've been a Raiders fan since 5th grade. So plus 15, 16 years. So please elaborate on what kind of culture that Josh McDaniels can build. Because he's done it so much in the past. Good.
So Josh McDaniels has never built a culture. But Josh
you think
McDaniels has been a part of a culture.
Okay.
So he knows what it looks like. He knows the type of people you need. He knows the way it needs to be run. That's the reason why you should have faith in Josh McDaniels. I also went and did a little bit of research.
Okay.
Jalen Carter has played 2 games with the Eagles and has 1 sack.
That's perfectly fine, but that's not the issue, King. The reason why our defense lacks the intensity and what we stops is because, one, they're doubling our only solid piece that we have. They're doubling Max Crosby or they're chipping him. We have no push up the middle, and Jalen Carter would have helped with that because they're going to have to do what? Of 2 things. Either double team Jalen Carter or double team Max Crosby. So that's mainly the reason why we want him.
Why would you double team Jalen Carter?
I mean, if he was on the team with the Raiders, you're either risking the double team Jalen Carter or Max Crosby because you're not stopping Jalen Carter one-on-one. You're just not.
But I just told you he has 2 sacks.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. On the Raiders, he'd have more than 2 sacks based on the productivity he's already shown. How many pressures to the quarterback does he have? What's his win rate?
No,
It don't matter about the sacks. It matters about the difference he can make for our defense.
Oh, right. Because I know at the beginning of the year we had some playbacks that we were in. And I kind of remember you saying something to the effect that Max Crosby is a better defensive lineman than Daniil Hunter.
I knew we were going to go back to the Vikings, but that's cool.
Is that true? Is that a true statement? Is that something that came out of your mouth?
That was a true statement that came out of my mouth. But what does that have to do with my Raiders?
It has nothing to do with the Raiders. It's just something that I just dwelled on, and I just said to myself, "Wait,
got it."
When you mentioned Max Crosby, it just flipped to my head like, oh, wait, isn't? So here's the thing, KB. We've played 3 games.
Yeah.
Both of our teams have played 3 games.
Okay.
Max Crosby has 2 sacks.
Okay.
Daniil Hunter has 5.
Okay. Who has a better defense that allows him to get free? What are we doing? Are we really comparing our defenses?
You're funny.
King, you gotta stop with this, man. Like, what? You did.
Who had the better defense last year?
Oh Lord, y'all did. Apparently, come on.
We definitely did not. We did not have the better defense.
We did not have the better
30th
defense.
ranked defense in the NFL last year. We did not have the better defense.
And where was my team?
The Max Crosby had more sacks than Daniil Hunter last year, and he had the better defense.
Jesus Christ!
Listen, it's okay. It's okay, King.
Look, King, if you're trying to you see how that goes, right? So that's going to be a regular thing. We're talking about the Raiders and what we're doing draft-wise, but we go back to how Daniil Hunter is better than Crosby. Like I said, I don't understand that. It's weird to me, but
King never misses an opportunity to take a victory lap.
Never. He never stays on subject. But as you know, ladies and gentlemen, that's what he does. But like I said, when it comes down to, I don't know who can dance and do that jiggle, being 0-3, but cool. But when it comes down to what we're doing, when it comes down to what when it comes down to what the Raiders are doing, it's despicable.
Wait, KB.
I'd rather what now?
You just trashed the shit out of your team. And then you came and tried to trash my team that I'm building because we played well. You said your team played like trash, and I said my team played well. But you take the shot and say, "Oh, I don't know how you can dance in your team."
So
the Raiders might as well be 0-3. You might as well be 0-17. The way you're looking at it, they don't have a fucking chance.
I mean, not with this coaching staff. No, they don't.
There you go. There you go.
It's the truth. I'm sorry. I can have delusional belief. Yeah, what they did last year, they'll do again this year. No, they won't. So it's okay. It's okay. I've come down to let me go ahead and finish mine. I've come down to the statement to where I'm ready to clean house, playoff. Me and you can agree on that. Clear house, get the right players where they need to go, and start fresh, new, brand spanking new, and get a new series of coaches. I'm already done with Josh. Yep. Trade Kay Adams.
Trade Devontae to the Jets. The Jets.
Hey, I'm perfectly fine. Let him have fun with Zach Wilson because he's a way better quarterback than Jimmy G. So I mean, that's cool with me. That's cool with me. That's perfectly cool with me. I could care less when it comes to Jimmy G and all these other people we have because we have so many weapons, but we refuse to use them. So
Jimmy Garoppolo has.
It's okay.
To the Super Bowl, and Zach Wilson, I think, has 2 wins in his career.
That's perfectly fine. Are we talking about history or are we talking about now? I'm talking about this season.
This season, Zach Wilson has 0 wins.
0 wins. Okay. And how many interceptions and turnovers is Garoppolo?
Wait, why are we? What's going on? What are we? Who's the better quarterback, Zach Wilson or Jimmy Garoppolo?
I believe it's Zach Wilson. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the right quarterback for my team.
Not even close.
He ain't
Zach
the right
Wilson-
quarterback for my team.
Listen, Zach Wilson might be out of the NFL at the end of this year.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
right.
I'd rather
Jimmy
take.
Garoppolo signed a multi-year contract.
And that was a mistake. That was a mistake. The Raiders should not have signed to a multi-year contract. But I mean, he's injured as of now. He's in concussion protocol. Hopefully, the Raiders don't try to play him this week again, and they just ignore when somebody has concussions. And we'll see what goes.
Can't do that.
But yeah, we can't do it. We played him with a concussion apparently. So I mean, there's a lot of things we can't do, but we just do. So I don't know what my team is doing. But other than that, me being the realistic fan. I don't see how we beat the Chargers for next week. We can go to our next week games.
Yeah.
I'll just get mine started and finish mine. We play against the Chargers. I believe it's going to look similar to what the Broncos and Dolphins did. We're going to lose by a lot. So it is what it is. King, if you want to go ahead and give your optimistic viewpoint to get your first win.
We're going to stomp the Panthers.
Cool.
Bro, I hope for your sake that actually happens.
The same way my Seminoles and Jordan Travis is the Tiger King because he crushed the Clemson Tigers and then he crushed the LSU Tigers. The Kirko is going to become a Panther King because him and JJ and KJ and JA and AM. You hear all the acronyms. And Big
I really
Dog,
don't know who those are.
I don't know.
I don't know who any of those people are.
The only acronym I respect is JJ.
Kirko is Kirk Cousins. JJ is Justin Jefferson. KJ is KJ Osborne. JA is Jordan Addison. Right? And AM is Alexander Madison. They are going to destroy the Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah, if y'all don't win that one, Kirk really might be on his way out.
Wait, look at you! Look at you! Just got your first win tonight, and you all bossy. Oh,
I was saying that before the win. I said that before the win. By the way,
right, cool. But, yeah, we gonna crush them. Go ahead.
Anyway, Bengals are they're gonna be on a 2-game win streak. After next week, we got the Titans, who are terrible.
There we go.
So Ryan Tannehill, their offensive line is terrible. If you can stop, the key to stopping the Titans is stopping Derrick Henry. If you don't allow the running game to get off, then they can't really do anything else offensively. Hopefully, Joe came out and said that the calf strain, there was no setback tonight. So hopefully he's feeling better heading into the next game. And they just continue to build off of this and chain some wins together. But yeah, I fully expect the team to be at 500 after the next game. So
right on. Yeah, I mean, like I said, hopefully for our teams, successful all the way around. Like I said, it's a rough week, man. It's been a rough week for all of us. But yeah,
KB, you don't want success for your team, though. You want them to lose.
No, I want to start from scratch because obviously we don't know what we're doing with the talent that we already have now. So I just would rather a better head coach than Josh McDaniels because he's not proven. So
Also, if you're just tossing players away, I'll take Josh Jacobs.
Please do. At least he'll be able to have some. At least he'll be able to have some sort of running game because I don't know what our offensive line is doing. It ain't blocking, but But yeah, you can have Devontae Adams, you can have Max Crosby, you got them all. I don't need Devontae. I just want them to have just the most success. But other than that, we got some highlights for NFL that we will be showing after this break, and then we'll be able to say our closing stuff to get out of here. Any last comments before we go ahead and shut this thing down?
No, I mean, I guess my last thought is, you're talking about McDaniels, and it made me think, has there ever been a Belichick disciple that's actually had success going out on his own? And I can't really think of one.
Nope.
So
did Bill Parcells coach with Belichick?
I think Belichick came from the Parcells tree. I thought.
Came from Parcells tree. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
he
what I
came from
thought.
Parcells
I was
tree.
wondering where the connection was.
Yeah.
King, any last words or paragraphs? What did you say?
Skull and
It's
Go
called
Nose.
skull. It's called Scald. You got it, bro.
Skull and
Bro.
Go Nose.
Oh my lord! You understand when it comes to the Vikings, they don't say skull. It's skull, bro. That's skull.
Skull. This ain't liquor.
All right.
We ain't talking
All
about
right, bro.
liquor. We talking
Got
about
you.
skull and
Got
Go
you.
Nose.
Got you. Yeah. And for my closing thoughts, since we have somebody who doesn't know how to pertain to an actual Viking the right way, I hope my team does what they need to do because I'd hate to see another embarrassing loss. And that's a wrap for our first episode. See you guys, episode 2.
Peace.